Is your car AC not blowing cold? Here are a few things to do before adding refrigerant or even taking your car to the dealership. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, where we help you diagnose and repair common problems on your vehicle easily and cheaply yourself without relying heavily on the dealership and spending money you really could have used for something else. And if you find a guide like this helpful, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like and share this video. It may help someone. So before you add refrigerant to your car AC, do one thing first. Measure the cold, because the air coming from your vents may be lying to you. Your AC may feel weak, but that does not automatically mean the system is low on refrigerant. In some cars, the refrigerant side is already doing its job, but the cold air is being stolen before it reaches your face. It could be blocked by a dirty cabin filter, weakened by a clogged condenser, ruined by a lazy cooling fan, mixed with heat from a stuck blend door, or confused by a sensor that is telling the climate control system the wrong temperature. And that is why so many people waste money on recharge cans. They add refrigerant because the vents are warm, but they never check whether the system is actually failing to make cold air or whether the cold air is simply being lost somewhere else. Then, after topping it up, the AC may work slightly better for a short time, but the real problem is still there, and sometimes the extra refrigerant makes the system perform even worse. So in this video, I'm not going to start by telling you to refill the system. I'm going to show you how to identify and prove where the cooling is being lost. You'll learn the simple temperature test most drivers never do, the idle versus driving clue that exposes a weak condenser fan, the cabin airflow checks that can make a good AC feel bad, and the cold line versus warm vent test that can tell you whether the problem is under the hood or inside the dashboard. Because before you add refrigerant, you need to answer one question. Is your AC failing to create cold air, or is your car losing that cold air before it reaches you? Now let's find out. The first thing you need is a temperature comparison test. Park the car outside in the shade if possible. Close the windows, start the engine, and let it idle. Set the AC to the coldest temperature, select the face vents, turn on recirculation mode, and set the blower to medium speed, not maximum speed at first. Then place a digital probe thermometer in the center vent and let the system run for about 5 minutes. Now here is where many people make the first mistake. They only look at the vent temperature and say, my AC is bad. But vent temperature alone does not tell the full story, because it changes with outside temperature, humidity, sunlight, engine speed, blower speed, and the design of the vehicle. Instead, compare the center vent temperature with the temperature of the air entering the system. When recirculation is on, that intake air is usually being pulled from inside the cabin, often around the passenger side footwell area, although the exact location depends on the vehicle. This comparison tells you whether the system is actually removing heat. A healthy car AC system may produce about a 30 to 45 degree Fahrenheit drop, which is about 16 to 25 degrees Celsius, between the air entering the HVAC system and the air leaving the center vent once the system stabilizes. On an 85 degree Fahrenheit day, or about 29 degrees Celsius, many good systems may settle somewhere around 38 to 48 degrees Fahrenheit at the center vent, which is about 3 to 9 degrees Celsius. But don't treat those numbers as a strict rule for every car, because high humidity, direct sunlight, maximum blower speed, hybrid stop-start systems, and manufacturer programming can all change the reading. So basically, if the cabin intake air is 90 degrees Fahrenheit and the center vent is blowing 55 degrees, that is a 35 degree drop, which means the AC system is removing a good amount of heat. If the cabin still feels uncomfortable, the problem may be weak airflow, outside air leaking in, heat coming through the glass, or hot air mixing with the cold air inside the dashboard. But if the intake air is 90 degrees and the vent is still 78 degrees, that is only a 12-degree drop, and now you are more likely dealing with a real cooling problem, such as poor condenser airflow, low or incorrect refrigerant charge, compressor control problems, a sensor issue, or a blend door allowing heat into the cold air. That one test keeps you from confusing cold air that is not reaching you properly with air that was never cooled properly in the first place, which is why you want to do this second test. Keep the vehicle safely in park, apply the parking brake, keep your hands and tools away from moving parts, and, if possible, ask another person to hold the engine around 1,500 RPM while you watch the vent thermometer. Do not do this inside a closed garage because of carbon monoxide danger. If the AC gets much colder at 1,500 RPM but becomes warm again at idle, that is a very important clue. It usually means the problem shows up most when the car is not moving. When you are driving, air naturally passes through the condenser at the front of the vehicle. But when the car is stopped in traffic, the cooling fan has to pull air through the condenser. If the fan is weak, not running at the correct speed, cycling when it should stay on, or trying to pull air through a condenser packed with dirt and debris, the AC can blow cold while driving but warm at idle. So if your AC is cold on the highway but warm at traffic lights, don't start with refrigerant. Start with the condenser fan. With the engine running and the AC turned on, look at the radiator and condenser fan from a safe distance. Never put your hand, wire, cloth, or tool near the fan, even if it is not moving, because electric fans can start without warning. On many vehicles, at least one fan will run or cycle when the AC is on, although fan strategy varies by model. A stationary fan does not automatically prove the fan motor is bad, but if your AC keeps getting warm at idle and colder when driving, you should check the fan motor, fan speed, fuse, relay, control module, wiring, and condenser airflow before blaming the compressor. Next, turn the engine off, allow things to cool, and inspect the condenser through the front grille. The condenser looks like a thin radiator and usually sits in front of the engine radiator. Its job is to release the heat that the AC removed from the cabin. So if it is covered with insects, dust, leaves, plastic bags, pollen, or road debris, the refrigerant cannot release heat properly. Use a flashlight and look through the fins. A condenser can look clean from the front, but still have debris trapped between the condenser and radiator, so check that area if you can access it safely. If it needs cleaning, use a gentle flow of water. Do not blast it with a pressure washer close up, because the thin aluminum fins can bend easily, and bent fins can restrict airflow even more. After cleaning, let the water drain, repeat the vent temperature test, and compare the new reading with the old one. If the vent temperature improves at idle, you just fixed a heat transfer problem without adding refrigerant. But if you see oily dirt around the condenser, hose fittings, compressor, or AC lines, stop and have the system inspected, because refrigerant oil can leak out with refrigerant, and oily residue can be a sign of a leak. Now let's move inside the cabin. The next cheap check is the cabin air filter. A clogged cabin filter can make the blower sound loud while very little air actually comes from the vents. That can make you think the AC is weak when the evaporator may actually be cold, but air cannot pass through it properly. Remove the cabin filter according to your vehicle's manual. It is usually behind the glove box or near the bottom of the windshield. Hold it up to a bright light. If very little light passes through, or it is packed with dust, leaves, hair, and debris, replace it with the correct filter and make sure the airflow arrow points the correct way. Do not permanently remove the cabin filter just to get stronger airflow, because that lets dirt collect on the evaporator. And this brings us to a missing problem many videos never talk about. If the car was driven for years with no cabin filter, the wrong filter, or a poorly seated filter, the evaporator face itself may already be dirty. In that case, replacing the filter will protect the system going forward, but it may not fully restore airflow because the restriction is already sitting on the evaporator fins inside the HVAC box. A good clue is weak airflow even after installing a new cabin filter. Depending on the car, cleaning the evaporator may require evaporator cleaner, access through the blower motor opening, or professional service. Now check one simple thing under the car: water dripping from the AC drain. When the AC is working, the evaporator removes moisture from the air, and that water usually drains under the car. So water under the car after using the AC is often normal. But if the AC has been running for 10 to 15 minutes on a humid day, and the cabin feels sticky, the air smells musty, the passenger carpet is damp, or no water seems to drain at all, the evaporator drain may be restricted. A clogged drain may not always be the main reason the air is warm, but it can trap moisture, create odors, and make the cabin feel less comfortable even when the AC is cooling. Now, if your vehicle has automatic climate control, check the small in-cabin temperature sensor grille. This is usually a small slotted opening somewhere around the climate control panel, steering column area, or lower dashboard. Behind that grille, many systems have a cabin temperature sensor, and some use a tiny aspirator fan or air tube to pull cabin air across the sensor. If that grille is blocked with dust, lint, pet hair, or dirt, the system may not read the cabin temperature correctly. It may reduce cooling or airflow too soon because it thinks the cabin is already cooler than it really is. With the climate system off, gently clean the grille with a soft brush or a vacuum held near the opening. Do not push metal objects, cotton swabs, or compressed air directly through the slots because the sensor behind it can be delicate. Also check the sun load sensor on top of the dashboard near the windshield if your car has one. This sensor helps the automatic climate control determine how much sunlight is heating the cabin, and when it is covered by paper, a dash mat, a phone mount, decorations, or dirt, the system may misjudge the heat load and behave strangely. Just make sure it is clean and uncovered. At this point, you need to test the recirculation door. This is vital because in fresh air mode, the AC has to keep cooling hot outside air. In recirculation mode, it cools air that has already been cooled once, so the cabin temperature drops faster. With the blower on medium speed, switch between fresh air and recirculation while listening near the passenger side of the dashboard. You may hear an actuator move, and the airflow sound may change slightly. If nothing changes, if you hear clicking, or if the system says recirculation is on but hot outside air still seems to enter, the recirculation door or actuator may be stuck. This is quite important in very hot weather. If the outside air is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 38 degrees Celsius, and the recirculation door is stuck open, the AC may be working, but it is forced to keep cooling extremely hot outside air instead of reusing cooler cabin air. Next, check the temperature blend door. The blend door controls whether air passes through or around the heater core. If it does not fully reach the cold position, the evaporator can make cold air, but the heater core warms it again before it reaches the vents. Move the temperature control slowly from full cold to full hot, then back to full cold, and listen behind the dashboard. Clicking, knocking, or repeated tapping can point to a bad actuator or stripped gears. Also compare the left and right center vents. If one side is cold and the other side is warm, especially on dual-zone climate control, suspect a blend door or actuator issue. If the car uses a heater control valve, verify that it works properly, but do not clamp heater hoses as a permanent trick, because that can damage hoses or interfere with the cooling system. Now here is one of the most useful overlooked tests, the cold line versus warm vent test. After the AC has been running for several minutes, carefully check the larger low-side AC line under the hood while keeping your hands away from fans, belts, pulleys, and hot engine parts. That larger line should usually feel cool or cold, and it may even sweat with condensation. If the large line is cold but the vents are warm, the AC system may already be creating cold under the hood, but the cold air is being lost inside the cabin because of a blend door problem, recirculation leak, restricted airflow, dirty evaporator face, or airflow issue. But if the low side line is not cold and the vent temperature is also poor, then the problem is more likely in the refrigerant charge, compressor control, condenser airflow, pressure sensor, or expansion device. This simple comparison tells you whether the cold is missing from the system or being lost before it reaches your face. And if the line is cold but the vents are warm, adding refrigerant may do nothing. Before adding refrigerant, there is one more smart electronic check for vehicles with scan tool access, the evaporator temperature sensor. This sensor tells the system how cold the evaporator is so the computer can prevent freezing and control compressor output. If the sensor gives an impossible reading, the computer may reduce or shut down cooling even when the evaporator is not actually freezing. After the car has been parked for several hours and fully cold-soaked, turn the ignition on without starting the engine, then use a scan tool that can read HVAC data. Look for a reading called evaporator temperature, evaporator fin temperature, or AC evap temp. Compare it with the outside temperature, cabin temperature, and ambient temperature reading. They do not have to match perfectly, but they should be reasonably close before the AC has run. For example, if the car sat overnight and the outside temperature is 90 degrees Fahrenheit, but the evaporator sensor immediately says 28 degrees before the compressor has even operated, that reading is physically impossible. That points more toward a faulty sensor, wiring, connector, or HVAC control issue than a simple low refrigerant problem. Do not replace the sensor based on one reading alone, but use that clue before spending money on refrigerant or a compressor. Now, if all the airflow, condenser, door, drain, and sensor checks pass, then it is time to look deeper into the sealed refrigerant system. This is where you need to be careful. Weak cooling can be caused by low refrigerant, overcharge, air or moisture in the system, the wrong refrigerant, a weak compressor, a restricted expansion valve or orifice tube, a faulty pressure sensor, or a control problem. A single low-side gauge on a recharge can cannot accurately separate all of these issues, especially on modern variable displacement compressors. Some compressors do not behave like the older, simple on-and-off clutch style. On many newer vehicles, the pulley may spin even when the compressor is not pumping strongly, and the computer may control compressor output through a valve or solenoid. So do not condemn the compressor just because you do not hear a click, and do not assume the system is low just because the air is warm. Check under the hood label for the correct refrigerant type and charge amount. Never mix refrigerants. Never use unknown substitutes, and be careful with stop leak products. If the charge is low, remember that refrigerant is not consumed like gasoline. It escaped somewhere, so the real repair is finding and fixing the leak. Stop DIY diagnosis and seek qualified service if you see oily leakage, damaged AC lines, abnormal compressor noise, a repeatedly blown AC fuse, frost only on one small section of a pipe, extremely rapid compressor cycling, or a system that may contain unknown refrigerant or stop leak. If this guide helped you, please like the video, subscribe to our channel for more repair tutorials like this, and leave a comment with a question you have below. And also, watch this other video on what to check if your car air condition/AC is blowing hot air rather than cold air. I will see you there.